Good morning, everyone. How are you doing this morning? Filling up the coffee? Feeling great. Thank you all for coming out today. One of these days, I'm going to get off my dead butt and actually fix that intro screen. Shave about 5 seconds off of it because it's a little on the long side. How's everybody doing this morning? My name's Dan. This is Tweet FEV, and here we survive off of coffee. Oh, man. Life is better with a cup of coffee. And with all my FPV friends, how is everybody doing this morning? Thank you all for coming out this morning. It's been kind of a weird week. Like, super warm, then super cold, then torrential downpour, and then freezing temps overnight, which is not super common for where I'm at, but it is what it is. I swear anybody who builds in this area doesn't actually plan on water ever getting into a solid state, but here we are. Luckily, no broken pipes this week. Diligent about going out every night and shutting off all the water everywhere. Oh, stream power provided by my friends over at Ruby Moon Coffee. This isn't Ruby Moon Coffee that I'm drinking. I'm drinking through a bag of Javali before I get to the good stuff. Had to dip into my emergency supply. Anyhow, everybody in the live stream chat, thank you for coming out. Some of you guys super early. Brian FPV, Morton Upshot, Free Lojo. Thanks a lot for coming out. Free Lojo, a new cool kid up here on the list. It's over here, isn't it? Yeah, there you go. We got a new one up there. Thank you so much for joining the Patreon Cool Kid Club. Over on Patreon, we'll get the shameless plugs out of the way now. Over on Patreon, I do monthly giveaways. You want to get on those? Go over to Patreon, sign up. $5, I give you the link right away. For $2, the link becomes live when the live stream starts for the giveaway. Oh, man. Busy week. Dogs are already begging for treats. Not yet, guys. Lots of stuff this week, especially with this little guy here. I know we talked about it a little bit last week. The Jumper T Pro. This is one with the built-in 2.4 ELRS. Grips for this are available on my website, tweetfb.com, and coming to Race Day Quads as soon as the post office does their job and delivers them. Lots of stuff with that. Had issues with the internal module getting borked on the initial flash, which is pretty common. And the reason why it's happening is, if you're familiar with ExpressLRS, when you log into the web GUI to update the internal module, it says DIY, duplex, whatever, and people are selecting that as the target, except for that's not the right target. It's a whole thing. Easy to fix, but you do have to open the radio up. There is a permanent fix for this radio, and it is soldering a wire between the boot button on the ELRS module and your momentary switch on the right. And that is actually how this radio is going to come from Jumper on the next product run. They're going to add that wire in so that there's no more issues with the internal flashing. So it'll kind of be like how TBS does bootloader mode for their Tango and their Mambo. It'll be kind of the same way for the T Pro. So that is a lot of stuff that could have been avoided if the manufacturers actually talked to the developers. But hey, we are where we're at. I'll be honest, the T Pro is actually a pretty darn good value for what they're asking for it. I don't really like the radio, but it's a good value. Brian FV says, stream is the highlight of my week. Same here, buddy. Same here. Morton Upshot said I soldered up a new camera in my Roma F4 build. I don't have the motivation to configure in the ports. He dragged it to the basement with me. Soldered up a new camera. Motivation in the ports. What do you got to configure in the ports for your camera? Weird. Oh, man. Let's see who we got over. JFEV, good morning. Keith Drones, how are you doing? Free Lojo, like I said, in the chat. We're talking about this thing. This is the weirdest quad I have ever received. This was in this month's sub 250 crate. And we're talking about why the ducted props that came in the crate don't work with the motors that came in the previous crate. And yeah, there's definitely a compatibility issue. So need to talk to those folks. I have stopped my sub 250. You know, the videos come out this week. You guys can watch that. You'll figure out what's going on. But it is a very interesting frame, and if you've been around for a while, you know that I am interested in interesting frames. So I'll probably actually build this one, even though I don't like anything about it. I'm probably going to build it just because it is so weird. Such a weird frame. But yeah, it is a thick base for those motors, for sure. Mike Bergman, how you doing this morning? Brandon Baked Beans, thanks for coming out, as always. Dial Up, how are you doing this morning? North 49 RC. Norquad, how are you doing? Paul McDonald, Family Guyver, thank you so much for coming out. Speedy Turtle in the house. If anybody has heard of the Speedy Cares package, you want to get on that, go over to Speedy Turtle's Patreon and sign up. It is a awesome service. I put a bunch of stuff in the Speedy Cares package when it came here, and I was cleaning up the basement, and I found a bag of receivers underneath the couch. Sorry, Speedy, but you should have those soon, along with a bunch of other stuff. The curse of having too much crap. Scott, how you doing this morning? Borked? Your name is my favorite thing to call things when they get screwed up. Borked? Airhog FPV, don't recognize that name, but if you've been around, thanks for coming out. If you're new here, thanks as well. Scott says we're building my Tyro 79 just for something to do. Yeah, I built a Tyro, I think it was a Tyro 79 way back in the day, and it wasn't a bad build. For what you were getting, it was pretty good. But now with things like the Baby 8, man, I can't. And that thing comes pre-assembled. I'd be hard pressed to suggest a Tyro at this point. Joe Monkey FEV ordered Zorro grips last night. Can't wait. Oh yes, oh yes. Look at this. That is the Radio Master Zorro. Oh, so I've got 3 new product lines out there. I've got the Zorro, the T Pro, and the little button finders for the Orca FPV-1 pilots. Over at tweetfv.com, and eventually Race Day Quads as soon as they get them. Race Day Quad's been a huge supporter since the early days of me doing the grips, back when I was cutting them on an old K40 where I was literally waiting for the laser to finish before I bagged them up. Yeah, I think it started with the Flying Sandals guy. He sent me some of his series boards to look at, and I asked him, like, how did you get this into Race Day Quads? He's like, hey, just talk to this guy. And Race Day Quads is really good about just giving the small person a chance, or the startup company, or like the hobbyist a chance. Like, if you have a good idea for a product that you are making, and you can be a reliable supplier, contact them. And like, if it's a decent idea, they'll probably buy some from you and put them on their website and try to sell them. And if they sell well, they're going to keep reordering. So big thanks to Justin out there over at Race Day Quads for supporting me. We're going on well over a year at this point. But yeah, awesome. Spander, how you doing this morning? Brandon Baked Bean says I got my new Explorer flying, and the old one getting parted out to get a buddy's Explorer flying again. Need to fly my new Hex to get some good footage. Also need to get LEDs in my Baby Hawk. LEDs in the Baby Hawk. Ooh, I know what LEDs you could use. Use some house LEDs. So they are awesome. Tony Hernandez, how you doing this morning? Athix, good morning. Thanks for coming out. More than such as the camera I put in has a RX and TX instead of the external joy. Okay. So what Morton's talking about is some of the cameras just come like, say this Foxeer here. Like this Foxeer camera only has a pad for OSD and ground for doing joystick control. But there are some out there that use a full UART for camera control. They're a lot more reliable as far as using camera control. But yeah, that's what he's referring to. I'm betting it's probably a run cam. Oh, yeah, there you go. Athix doesn't need to rebuild my baby tooth. Cam failed. I noticed the quality going down. Athix, what camera did you have in your baby tooth? ELRS, and what 5-inch freestyle frame will you recommend for a Vista unit? The FPV Cycle Glide. Damn it. Why, OBS? Why do you do this? There we go. OBS always wants to just change inputs. This would be... Why would you bring up the product page like that? There we go. Glide kit. This is what I would recommend. Of course, you got to find one that's actually in stock. Let's see. You should Race Day Quads has them in stock. There you go. Race Day Quads has them in stock. There you go, Mike Bergman. Race Day Quads, that's where I would go because I have them in stock. But yeah, that's been my go-to 5-inch frame. That's the 5-inch frame of a lot of freestyle pilots. It's just durable, very well thought out. It's slim. It's not the easiest build in the world. Like if you're gonna throw a bunch of big old parts in there and GPS and all the other bells and whistles, you may have a little struggle putting all the parts in there, but it's intended to have all your electronics broken up into 3 separate locations. Flight control in the front, ESC in the middle, and your VTX in the rear. Man. Freeload Joe, my 3rd coffee refill this morning. Yeah, I'm on number 3. The first one was a microwave pot while I was waiting for a new pot to cook. But yeah, number 3 right now. Spander says it's 4 in the afternoon for him. It is 10 in the morning for me. North 49RC says he's a huge fan of Foxeer cams. I'll be honest, I am not. I have never really cared for the Foxeer image. Just me. I started off on run cams, and I've been on run cam for a long time, so that's just what I'm used to. Whether that's better or not, I don't know, but it's just what I was used to. I put a Foxeer in. I didn't like the image. It had like a really blue cast to it, so I went back to run cam, and I've just been using run cam. At this point, all the camera, like the big manufacturers, all pretty much the same. Cadex, they're there. They have like questionable quality and build quality, so I don't know. But you really can't go wrong with any of them. It's just kind of look at what the specs are versus the price. When I started racing, I was crushing cameras a lot, so I was buying Cadex cameras, but the frames back then weren't really well designed for protecting parts. So I crushed a lot of cameras, so I was buying cheap Cadex cameras because I'd rather destroy a $20 camera than a $35 camera every weekend. So I was doing Cadix for a while, and then the frames got better. I got better. So I'm back to run cam, and now I'm on HD0, which we know those cameras are kind of pricey. Athix said he had the Ant version of the FPV cycle. Yeah, that's what I got in the one I built 2 weeks ago. Love this little quad. It's so fun to go out and just like rip it and then just instantly do like inverted yaw spin around a tree, and then if you crash it, like things don't really break on it. You just can't turtle mode out of anything. Family Guy says, what 5-inch frame for an air unit do you recommend? You guys are not going to like my recommendation, but here it is. Give me 1 second. It is this one. The Impulse RC 5-inch 8 HD. It has the ass in the back to fit a Vista or an air unit. I have one of these. These are some of the. I know it's expensive. It's an expensive frame, but there's a reason. It is one of the best. Sorry, one of the best flying frames out there. They are durable AF. And something that a lot of people don't know is they actually have a warranty on them. I think they have a 1-year warranty where I believe they'll send you replacement arms and stuff if you break them. But it's one of, like, so there was a lot of frames that came out for the Vista. They weren't really designed around the Vista. They were just like, it just happened to fit because of the way we designed it poorly. This one's actually intentionally designed to fit the Vista. Like, the way the standoffs work back here, they're hex standoffs, and they have to be in a very particular orientation, otherwise it doesn't fit. The hex standoffs kind of locate everything. You're still going to double side tape it down, but that frame that's my recommendation if you want like a no excuses. This is a awesome frame for an air unit. I probably keep saying Vista just because I'm coffee. Just so you think I'm not BSing you, I can vouch for the durability of this guy because I've been flying it for a long time. I don't fly it so much anymore just because I've switched over to flying the Glide. Again, no BS here. Glide with the air unit in there. I would probably the next time I got to dig into this thing, I'm probably gonna nakedize the Vista in this one just to shave a few more grams. But this is one awesome flying quad. But yeah, unfortunately, that Apex frame, she's pricey. And if you hate Mr. Steel, I guess a lot of people don't want to buy the frame because they don't like him, which is it's just a dumb reason. A dumb, petty reason. Yeah, the Source 1, V3, or V4, those are very inexpensive recommendations. There are compromises there, but like, if you ask what my recommendation is, if you want to build a great flying quad and not dick around, those are my two recommendations. Reheated coffee. What a way to start the day badly. Look, I love coffee. I love good coffee, but I love caffeine more. If that makes sense. I'm cheap. I don't want to waste anything. I'm very, use every part of the buffalo. Like, unless the coffee has been like on the burner for like 24 hours, I usually toss it, but I'm usually pretty good about not leaving the burner on, so the coffee's somewhat decent the next day. It's not good, but it works. Free Range Chicken, how are you doing this morning? So we have two new patrons this month. or this week. Free Lojo and Mike Young. Thank you so much for your support. One of these days I'm going to get the point correct. Thanks for joining the Cool Kids Club over there. The patrons are what keep this thing going. I'll be quite honest with you. YouTube, the affiliates, they're nothing. But Patreon, that is where it's at. Plus, benefits Patreon. You get early access to the monthly giveaways, and you also get access to the patron-only section of my Discord. I'm sure this won't work. 3, 2, 1, and nope. F-U OBS. There we go. I should probably test this before I start streaming. So over on the left-hand side, we have my Discord, where we chit-chat about just about everything, but we also have a members-only section. Ooh, I'm not supposed to show that. Never mind. That is a long-term project in the works there that I will definitely talk about at some point. And then in the middle here, we have the YouTube chat. If you see here, my name's in yellow right there, or orange. Sorry, orange. If you type @TweetFV, it'll get my attention. Or if you want to hit that super chat button at the bottom there, that'd be another way to get your question answered if you have one. And then over on the left here, and of course that's not going to work either. Thank you so much, OBS. Oop. I have my OBS preview. See someone's playing with the lights. The lights are user controlled. Just type exclamation point and the color or hex code, and it will change. There's also actions. I think there's a command that I can put in there to show all the commands. I don't know what it is. I'll figure it out one of these days. But you could do like that. I beat you to it, Dial-Up. Dial-Up says he's literally still in bed. 8 a.m. was the first cold cup while making the first pot. Yeah. Yeah, you need that slow drip while you're making the slow drip. Lawbar says I actually voted for the cam. Yeah, I have a poll going. If you don't see that, for today's super chat giveaway, I have 3 things up for grabs. A F4 flight controller. This is the Fox your camera. Focus. All right. And then a 1S to 2S LiPo charger. Let me know what you guys want, and we'll do a super chat giveaway today. That guy says he loves the 4-inch Impulse RC. Apparently, you probably have one, I'm guessing. Red TPU version. Nice. Mike Berger says I'm flying the Glide and the Prototype 5, now called the Insider. Ah, cool. So they got a name for it. Here is the Insider that he is referring to. What is the difference between the Prototype 5 and the Glide? Let's see. What's the difference? I see it has camera plates pushing the camera out front rather than it being recessed back into the frame. Does it use boomerang arms or are they individual arms? I don't know. Interesting. Of us being made by Bob Ruge, I'm sure it is it is a well-designed quad. That dude takes his time and make sure it's correct every time. Brian FEV on the wheel for 1. And as usual, it's gonna be a $5 super chat. We'll let the voting go till about 11 o'clock. See what people think. Don't buy Naked Vistas. Why's that, Speedy? Make your own. Oh, I got you. Make your own. I actually bought one. Just because it was back when you couldn't really get Vistas, or they were hard to get, and Flywoo just started making them, and it was like $10 more for a Naked Vista, and I literally haven't put it in anything yet. This one has the, I think it's the Polar Nano on it. Yeah, Polar Nano. But it's interesting when you get them, like, it still comes with all the old pieces. Like, they're still there. I haven't put in anything yet. I have lots of plans, not lots of time to do them because reasons. Let's see. Mr. Steele's Nepal flights lately are amazing. Love his long range style. You know what he's flying? He's flying DJI. You notice that? I'm glad he's come around on DJI. I understand why he was very against it in the beginning, just because it was kind of it wasn't a a big step up in the beginning, but it is definitely improved. Athix has his baby tooth build here over on the Discord chat. If you guys want to get into the Discord, go to tweetfv.com and hit that Discord invite link at the bottom there. It's a neat canopy. Is that 3D printed? It looks 3D printed. Nice. Very nice. Mike Bergman says he's triggered now. Family Guy, we're back on your Patreon. Sorry I had to pause for rent. I'm back in the Cool Kid Club. Hey, man. No need to ever be there, but I greatly appreciate it. First cup here and a foot of snow to plow today. I miss the seasons, but I don't know. I think I'd rather have the seasons than like blistering, unreasonable heat in the summertime. Mike Bergman says it's a squished X on the incisor and 2 stack mounting points. Individual arms. Okay, so individual arms and a squashed X. Oh, there's more pictures. I just didn't see them. Interesting. So it definitely gets the arms farther back. Oh, I see. There's the prototype, or the incisor. You kind of see the arms are a little bit farther back. Actually, it doesn't even look like they're farther back. It just looks like the cam's farther forward. Interesting. Actually, I think I might have one of those frames. Give me a second. That's a negative. No, I don't. Freeloader says, still in bed, have a great double wall carafe, so no need to leave burner on. Yeah, I used to do the insulated carafe. It just, I don't know, it was just never hot enough for me, if that makes sense. Right now I'm using a bun, and it'll brew a pot in less than 3 minutes. And they last forever. Free Lojo wants on the wheel. You on the wheel? You got it, Free Lojo. Free Olojo. No, Free Lojo. All right, you're on the wheel. And Little One-on-One. That's a new name. Mark Jorgensen. How you doing this morning? Lawrence says he's on the wheel with the PayPal. Yes, you are. Thank you, Lawrence. I have his radio here. Working on a little project for it. Another long-term project. Another long-term project that I have going on in the background while doing all the not long-term stuff. You guys will see what that's all about. Let's see. 8X says that is the Quad 66 frame Warpig. All right. I'm not sure what that refers to. Dop says donate $5 super chat to PayPal. That's how you get in. Spander, does the color of the prop affects the durability? Any thoughts on that? Actually, they do. Typically, clear props are a little less durable because there's no, they're a little more durable because there's less added to it because you're not offsetting it with pigment. But like in reality, it doesn't make a difference. Like if you're gonna dick up a prop, you're gonna dick up a prop. The color doesn't make a difference. If you're flying and you can see your props in view, if you go with a smoked color, it's very difficult to pick out the props until like the sun reflects off of them. So I typically like to fly like things where I'm going to record with like a gray or a clear prop. But color really doesn't make a ton of difference. But you know, things like let's talk about like zip ties. Black zip ties last way longer than the clear or white ones because of the added pigments in them. They resist chemicals and UV light more than the clear ones for some reason. So there is a little bit behind the color making them more durable, but that's from like they're going to sit out in the sun forever. In reality, it doesn't make much of a difference. Let's see. Vincent something. Hello, how are you doing today? That's a new name. Haven't seen you before. Same with Little One-on-One. If you've been around, thank you for coming out. If you're new here, I hope you enjoy. Robert Jagovics. I don't know, but he says on the wheel. You on the wheel? Before we get too carried away, you have to cover shipping. Just throwing that out there. And I Love to Kill You will be there for $5 as well. That name, interesting. Robert Ortlep, RGB is all colors. Dial up, figured it out. Yep. E-Drone, how you doing this morning? E-Drone has a live stream this Sunday. And he does a lot of interviews, and today he's interviewing the one and only. Oh shit! I forgot his name. I'm terrible with names, guys. I'm sorry. What the hell's his name? Michael Rollins. Jeez, that was bad. I mean, we even talked about it. He's interviewing Michael Rollins tonight. So definitely tune in for that one. That should be a really interesting interview because if you don't know Michael Rollins, he has interviewed some of the biggest names in FPV, and he's got to the end of his list and he has hung it up. So it'll be interesting to see an interviewer interview an interviewer. It'll be interesting, E-Drone. I'm looking forward to it. Athex, okay, gotcha. My baby tooth is the Quad 66 warping frame. Awesome. That makes way more sense now. Neurocopter says, personally, I feel opaque are better than transparent for durability. Yeah, they should be because of the extra stuff in them, but I don't think it really makes a difference. Scary username, to be honest. Yeah, I could see it not jiving well. That says, are you using Lumia Stream? Yes, I am using Lumia Stream. I've wanted to do integration with the lights for the longest time, because that was just going to be a small step towards doing the doggo treat dispenser, which these guys would really appreciate. And with Lumia Stream, I can do that very easily. I would like to not... I'm paying for it, but I don't think I actually need to pay for it for what I'm doing with Lumia Stream. So, yeah. So I'm using Lumia Stream. That's run in the background. You can see right her, Lumia Stream. And that's what's giving me the ability to, well, you guys the ability to play with the lights. I've submitted a request from them to try to make it so it was like the commands were run off of like a super chat. So I think that'd be ideal. That's the way I would like to do it. Thank you, Dollop. That's what it is. Exclamation point commands. What comes up when you do that? Here. Oh, look at that. That's pretty cool. And I can always add more or take some away, but thank you. Just wondering how to do it. Edrone, $5. Thank you so much. Smash that like button. Edrone, I'm going to throw you on the wheel just because. Why not, right? Why not? Stay strapped or get clapped. Nice. Never tried clear props, though. They don't stay clear for long. First crash, they're just covered in grass and mud and chunks of bark. And there's a link to Edrone's channel. Definitely like, subscribe that one, and hit that bell notification icon thing. That way you know when he goes live for his interviews. And he's got a lot of other really cool content. He durability tested the DJI camera, and it was very interesting to see how well that thing held up and how well it didn't. You have to watch the video to see. Mike Bergman, Bowls. Ram, that is the hex code for color, for the color you want. Scott says, just you being you. Hey, you donate, you on the wheel. You can always say no. Rick Zapata, good morning. How are you doing? Rick Zapata, another awesome content creator. Well, not really a content creator, but a community member. He has a Discord, and every Saturday morning he does a Discord live stream. Super fun to be able to like live interact with people talking. It does get a little hectic sometimes, but it's always a good listen, or you know, it's fun to participate in there. So, actually get to some freaking content here. So I've been flying this one for the better part of 2 weeks now, and I just got this one this week. And I've been flying them both, the Zorro and the T Pro. And I gotta say, guys, I really love the integration with Express ELRS, because I know FrSky and TBS kind of have the same thing going on, but I can literally fly one radio, unplug the quad, turn the radio off, turn the next radio on, and fly the quad with zero messing around, zero doing anything. The radios just work with that binding phrase. It just works so well. It works so well. So I can go literally fly these radios back to back with every quad that I have. Go out, fly a pack, turn it off, grab the next quad or the next one, go fly this one, and there's no change as long as the switches are mapped kind of in the same place. It's really good for A/B comparison. I do like the Zorro more. And I'll have a review on these radios coming out. I have put out a lot of content on this radio already and have yet to do like an actual review piece on it because there was, if you guys have been paying attention, there's a lot of issues with the integration of Express ELRS in this radio. Nothing that's actually like functionally bad. It's just if you have issues flashing it, it's kind of a pain in the butt to recover it. The Express ELRS devs have figured out a good workaround, and they've actually had Jumper implement that workaround in the future version, which if they would have actually just talked to them, we wouldn't have had this issue. That's a whole other thing, whatever. But either way, if you do screw up the flash on the Express ELRS internal module, you do have to take the radio apart at least once. If you take it apart, to do it once, there's a wire to solder in. I have a video on it. Check it out. And then you will never have to do that ever again, because then you just tie this button here to the boot button for the internal module, and then you can flash it through pass-through, which is cool. It's cool that they figured that out very easily, but eDrone has a new edit for the DJI cam with level 3 crash testing. Yeesh. That should be interesting. I'm assuming it doesn't survive. Man, I got sick like a month ago, and doing all the talking, I have like phlegm buildup in the throat. It kind of sucks, but makes it really hard to do recording videos, because it's like I gotta stop and like hack that gunk up. The T Pro, I'm pretty sure, is going to be a better value for most people. On paper, it definitely looks like a better radio. It costs less, it has more power output, it has 18650s, comes with a case. And what more could you ask for? This one costs more, less power output, but there are some things about this that I certainly like way more. And if you guys have been paying attention, I've been flying the Mambo for, since it came out, and that is like my favorite radio right now. I think I'm switching. I know I am, actually. I put quite a few packs through this, just flying around the house, flying outside in the yard. Even on the sim, I'm actually starting to get back into flying the sim a little bit more. I think you'd like either radio, but literally, if you buy one, try to buy it from a local retailer and put your hands on it. If you are holding it and you don't like the way it feels, then just send it back, get something else. But the T Pro is a heck of a value, and also ignorance is bliss on this. If you don't know what other radios feel like, then the one you have feels just fine. What's with the glitter grips? I like that. So Adrian, I make radio grips for just about every radio out there, except for anything made by Spectrum or Futaba, just because I don't have them. But I sell them on my web store, tweetfbb.com. Link in the video description and in the chat. And also, they are sold at Race Day Quads. I've got a couple other products over there. And let's see, I can go to Jumper T Pro. And I think the prices are pretty reasonable. And if you're international, you want to buy them from me, because I only charge $3 to send them. No tracking, super slow shipping, because they come in an envelope just like a letter, and it skips customs. So, I mean, there's that. Whereas everywhere else, they're going to come through customs. You're going to pay an arm and a leg for shipping, but, whatever. Mambo, you fly Tracer? I flew Tracer for a while. I have Tracer in a few of my race quads, and it'll stay in there until I get around to rebuilding them or I end up destroying them. But for the most part, I fly the Mambo with the Express ELRS. Morton Upshot, $5. Put you on the wheel. Boom. There you go. You on there. 10 types of people. Ones to get binary and ones that don't. And the winning slot, please. Nice. I took a programming class that was in binary and in hex. And it was absolutely useless. It was back, 2000, back when computers and programming were like, that was the hot ticket to a hell of a career. And then they found this little country called India. And I just stopped going to college at that point. Yeah, it does default back to the live stream this after a while. And I think I have a delay on each one. I think I have a minute delay on it, so I don't know. Still trying to play around with it, see what's going on. OCD FEV says Zorro's where it's at, hands down. Put the extra battery on it, not in the way of the grip. I haven't tried putting the extra battery on it. The 18-350s are plenty for me. Like the amount of time I go out flying, it will not outlast my goggle battery. They're pretty well paired, and then this thing actually has quick charging built into it. This thing takes forever to charge the batteries in it. This thing, like, you plug it in and it's topped off in like less than 30 minutes. It is extremely fast to charge. So if you're like waiting for a pack, you just plop it into the charger and top them off real quick. But I feel that it's plenty. It has a 250 milliwatt output limit, whereas this one is 1 old watt, but has no fan on it, which is sketchy to me. You don't need 1 watt, guys. You don't need 1 watt. 1 watt is freaking overkill. 250 is overkill. I never fly any more than 100 milliwatts unless I know I'm going to do something like trying to fly long range. Then I'll put it on 250, and then it's still pretty much gonna outrun my video. If you have clear enough line of sight to go that far on whatever your output power is for your goggles, you're gonna have plenty of line of sight to fly 2.4 at 250 milliwatts. The same distance in general. Obviously, there's a lot of variables that I'm not taking into account for that exist, but you kind of get what I mean. This thing, I hate this. Just a word of warning, a lot of the reviewers are saying, oh yeah, it comes with the little thing with the... No, this radio doesn't come with that, or at least mine didn't. It does not come with that. That, I think, is just something that's being included with the reviewers' version of the radio. It does come with a module bay for the back of it. You got to install it, but super easy to install. Team failsafe for the win. Nah. Current JW, how you doing? Good morning to you as well. How much for the Zorro grips? $8 to $10, depending on the color. Black is $8 and $10 for the colored ones. And if there's a color that you want that I don't have listed, email me. We can work something out. I do custom colors. I charge a little bit extra for it. I have some other colors laying around. I'm trying to reduce the options I have. There's some colors I have that just don't sell, like pink. Like I had that one for a lot of other grips. I sell maybe one every 6 months. Yeah, so I'm trying to reduce the amount I have, or the varieties I have, but still, if there's something you want, let me know. Or if you find a material that you want custom cut, email me. We'll talk about it. We'll come up with a game plan. I'll order the material in. I'll cut it, send it to you, that kind of thing. So there are lots of options available out there if for some reason you want a different color or a different texture, different pattern, something like that. I have tried cutting vinyl for these radios. It sucks. You don't want it. Trust me. Yeah. But the other thing that the Zorro has that the T-Pro doesn't have is the VTX backpack. I know it seems like a silly feature, but this doesn't have it, and this does. And I do, now that I have it working with my goggles and my quad, I use it all the time. And if you don't know what the VTX backpack is, it's basically the lead follow. So in the radio, I say, hey, quad, change to R8. Quad changed to R8. Goggles changed to R8. I don't have to touch anything. Kind of cool. Ricardo Ferreira says, could a radio company like FR Sky or other update to ELRS directly? No, they cannot. It is a entirely different type of chipset. It's a hardware change, not just a software change. So no, they could not. But there are some crazy people that are trying to stuff Express LRS into those radios. I just have to wait for that one. Mike Bergman says, are you doing that ELRS build? I'm not saying what it is in case it's secret, but I'm very curious how it's going. I am, and Chinese New Year has gotten in the way. But let's leak that one a little bit. Those should be here next week. And then we can get some progress. Morton Up says 1999 was great for IT prepping for Y2K. It was saturated with people and nothing to do. Yeah, that's exactly it. ELRS, dynamic power, enough said. Yes, I don't trust dynamic power. I don't have a reason to on ExpressOS. I used dynamic power in the early days with Crossfire, and it didn't. When I was doing it, it was kind of a newer thing, and it didn't change quickly enough, and I fail-safed a bunch. So I always stopped. I just never trusted it after that. But I'm trying it on Express LRS. I've had no issues with it, especially running like the 1 watt modules from like Beta FEV. It's been great. It's been really good. But I need to figure out how to make it tell me what the power output is when it changes, if it can do that. I'm not sure. It would be nice. Have Drone Will Fly. Sweet. Just got the Zorro in. Nice. I've seen some mods where they've stuffed the 18650s inside the Zorro. I think they're getting a little greedy. 18500 would be the sweet spot, I think. But hear me out here. After using this radio and looking at it, I can see a Radio Master Zorro Pro coming out. I had based this on nothing other than just the way the industry works and the way these companies work. I can see the Zorro Pro coming out with 18650s, a 1 watt transmitter, and the AGO whatever CNC gimbals. I see that coming out. I bet you within 6 months we have that thing. And I base this on absolutely nothing. I hope somebody's listening, and I hope you guys like start saying that just so it happens. You know what I mean? I think that would be freaking sweet. Dallas says, I have a set of pink coming. The photos don't show off how bright it is. Yeah, anybody out there that can hear me, if you have a set of my grips and you have like cool pictures of the grips, send them to me. tweetfb@gmail.com. Hit me up on Discord, or Patreon, wherever, and I will put those on the website as product images. I have stock images that I take in my Lightbox. I love putting your guys' setups as the product images because A, I think it looks better, and B, I don't know. I think that most people that have their products put on a website are just like, oh, that's me. I feel the same way whenever anybody says my name on YouTube. Like Nick Burns had a really positive shout out for my my fixing of this radio, and I'm like a stupid kid just because I don't know. It's nice to be recognized. Robert says power electronics that are assembled to withstand 1 watt will be more robust, long lasting when only run at half or quarter watt. You are 100% correct. I've had this radio part. It says it has a big heatsink. The heatsink, it ain't that big, but I'm sure it is rated to displace 1 watt worth of heat that comes out of this thing. I plan on putting it on a power meter and seeing if it throttles itself back, just sitting there with no air flowing over it. It kind of uses convection. Mike Bergman, nothing worse than buying F7 Beast AIOs when they're $70 and having one ground out on a 250. Press nuts, blow a bunch of caps in 2022. 105 to replace. Yeah, stuff has gotten way more expensive. Robert says coffee, dozen buttered tarts, and a country grader is plowing my driveway. Nice. County. Words, reading. What is backpack? Backpack. You wear it. No. So the VTX backpack. I don't know how far back in the chat. YouTube doesn't timestamp this stuff, which is kind of annoying. VTX backpack. You know what? I will just show you guys. All right, shut up, music. Here we go. Let's see. I don't know if you guys will see or hear this. I hope you do. Let's go. Boom, boom, boom. Stand by. I need to add an audio source. Add audio output capture. Desktop. Output source.
Very nice.
Let's see. Arctis Pro. There we go. Let's see if this works. All right, guys, watch your ears. I don't know how loud this is going to be. You know, I'll do the smart thing. I'll turn it down. Wait. There we go.
Up here.
Can you guys hear that? Is it too loud?
Hit send VTX.
This is what the VTX backpack function does.
That changes to R4. That changes to R4. That changed to R4. R4. All right.
TBS and Immersion RC have the same functionality, but they're not brand agnostic. You need to use their VTXs to make this happen, and you lose Betaflight OSD control of your VTX control. You keep all that, and it doesn't care what VTX it is.
Quad's not powered. Power the quad on.
And watch me struggle plugging in a LiPo. Let's see. Yeah, they were talking about getting it going for HD0, and that was something I asked them maybe a month ago, and they were working on it.
Telemetry recovered.
Quad automatically changes to R8. Now, this is still set to R8. I'm going to send R4. Plug in the quad. We'll see if it broadcasts on R8 and if it does, for how long.
And this is a big feature of, or a big thing that racers are looking for, is to be able to go in their radio, set all their channels, and then every time they plug a quad in, the quad automatically follows without broadcasting on the old channel it was on. And it seems to work. This little camera thing may be too slow to pick it up, but that is what VTX backpack is. Oh, hang on, I gotta disable that source. 103. There we go. So that's what backpack is. What do you guys think? You think that is worth having? I mean, there's no reason not to have it. I asked about how to put it in this one, and they never broke out any of the UARTs off of the ESP32 module. You could solder one in, but it's like BGA type soldering. Like it ain't gonna happen. Someone eventually will. Let's see. Current Top says sucks. I have a 533 zero frame using an Acon ESC. The power pads are maybe a millimeter away. I'm looking for thinner standoffs. Actually, my 533 zero build has that same as the. Oh no, I think I have a Hobby Wing ESC in there. Yeah, but it's close. It is tight, real tight. Freeload just says he ordered the Happy Model module for his wife's radio. Happy Model's been killing it with this Express ELRS stuff. I mean, of all the companies I figured that we're going to absolutely drop the ball, it would be Happy Model, but these guys are killing it. They are just killing it. Zorro Pro sounds amazing, right? I can't wait for the Zorro Pro to come out, right? With the CNC gimbals and the 1 watt module and the 18650s. Right, guys? Yeah? Let's make it happen. Let's make it happen. About the Zorro, you need to tell them they can't make it. Yeah, right? Just get Bardwell to scream about it and it'll happen, right? That's how it usually works. Zorro Max. Yep. Zorro Max. That's what it'll be. You are North 49 RC. You nail it. It'll be the Zorro Max. All right, let's end the poll here. We're gonna do the F4 FC for $5 super chat. You can either do the super chat or you can send it PayPal to tweetfb@gmail.com. Just a heads up, YouTube takes 30%. I don't care. YouTube gives me an awesome platform to interact with you guys, so they can take the 30%. I'm fine with it. But if you guys, whatever you want to do, we'll do it that way. Little one-on-one. I'll get you on the wheel again. I will randomize the wheel. Words reading. Oh, let's see. Bob Noxious, how you doing? Win Jumbie. Good morning, everybody. Hope you're doing well. Hope you're all having a great stream. Every stream's a great stream. Even when I have nothing to talk about, we'll figure something out. There's always something. Scott, question marks. I have no idea what you're question marking. Sorry. So, Scott, I hope that answered your question about the backpack, what it is. Did you guys all see the video? Did you hear it? I assume you did. Did you guys hear it? Let me know. Adrian says, I want to try ELRS, but I have TBS. And if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Yeah, TBS works great. But I'm fortunate where I have the resources to try just about everything. I flew Crossfire. I have 2 identical quads. Flew Crossfire, 2 packs on Crossfire, 2 packs on Express OS, and then here's the trick: go back to Crossfire. It was night and day difference. You don't notice going to a quicker link very easily, but when you go backwards, you feel like you're flying a dump truck and you're crashing into shit. Like, your brain starts to think faster. Your sticks are tied to your brainstem. I have Crossfire quads. I have Tracer quads. I am not putting any more into that ecosystem. As those quads die, that stuff's coming out. Once I have my last Crossfire receiver out of a quad, the transmitter, it's going as well. Same thing with the Tango, or not the Tango, but the Tracer stuff. As soon as I'm done with it, I'm done with it. Unfortunately, I have a couple of the TBS 69s in my quads, so I've got a VTX as well, which kind of sucks. Zorro Pro with the color touchscreen. Nah, we don't need that stuff. That'll just drive the price up, and nobody flying FPV needs a color touchscreen. Nobody needs a touchscreen in FPV. People were already complaining about the big screen on this compared to this little guy. I kind of would have preferred they put a smaller screen on this to get the footprint to be smaller, because in reality, this is a pretty big radio. When you size them up right next to each other, it is a fairly large radio. It's definitely smaller than like a traditional radio, but the footprint's pretty big. And I like flying compact radios because of how small the footprint is in your bag. It's definitely a lot lighter than a big radio, but these grips shed for a little while. Yeah, Zorro Ultra. No, that'll be the 3rd revision where they're going to come out with a 1 watt with the standard gimbals. Then they're going to do a max with the standard gimbals and the 1850s. Then they're going to do an Ultra where it's got all 3. just to really fleece everybody good. Bob Noxious, can't the cameras on the RunCam Split series be replaced? I don't see why they couldn't be. You just have to find them. I've replaced them before. Up, Morton upshot, dog treats. Okay. Doggo treat time. Yeah, why build a treat robot when I can just walk over there? Or I can just throw them at him. Okay, we heard the video. Okay, cool. I have the Split 4 and the video froze, replugged, and I get a white boot screen. Just the OSD. She probably did. Athex says, PayPal. Checking. Checking. Athex on the wheel. Got you on the wheel. Thank you so much. Damn, ELRS is that good? Yes, it is. It is that good. I held off on Express LRS for quite a while until they got out of the nightly beta type stuff and actually went to like a 1.0. I'm all in. I am all in Express LRS. I know TBS says they're gonna make Tracer better. I don't give a shit. I don't care. I'm all in Express LRS for the big reason that it's a awesome product. It works really well. Anybody can make it. Anybody can buy it. Well, I'm not anybody can buy it, but any company can make it. Any person can make it. All the stuff's open source. You can buy the PCBs and the components. You can solder them up yourself. I've been doing it for a while. But it is one protocol to rule them all. Sounds kind of dumb, but the receivers all work with the same transmitter. Anything from a built-in SPI receiver that's built into an AIO to an EP2, which is just this tiny little sucker inside of here, which is great for a whoop if you're going to add one on, all the way up to a full-size diversity receiver that goes in an X class to ones with PWM outputs. It's all universally usable. It covers everything. It's ultra-low latency, extremely consistent, and versatile. Because it's open source, these guys are constantly making improvements, which is a downside because there's always firmware updates. You don't need to always update it. You just have to be on the same major version, like 1.0 on 1.0. 1.0 doesn't work with 2.0, those things. But all the subversions, they're all interchangeable. The VTX backpack function is awesome. They're not just saying like, so let's say like TBS is never going to make trace. They're never going to make their my VTX function work with Immersion RC VTXs or SharkBite. They're not. It is their business model to stay within their ecosystem. ExpressOS they don't give a shit. They will. If you have a good idea, you just make the suggestion, and if it's not too much of a lift, they'll make it happen. And they make it happen fast. Like, look how fast it took them to come up with a solution for this stupid thing. It was like a week, and it was done. That's why I am all in on Express LRS. Foldable screen would have been okay. Yep, you're right. Foldable screen would have been good. So yeah, Mike Bergman, the connection is awesome. It goes forever on 2.4. Yeah, I'm all in on it. How's the antenna? Zoro. It is it a patch? I don't know. It's this little guy right here. I'm assuming it's not a patch, and it's probably an element. It looks like it's sonically welded. So I'm not really sure. I plan to disassemble the entire radio. This one is definitely a PCB-based antenna. It's about that big inside of there. If this was if this had 900 megahertz, it'd have an antenna that's this big, but the one inside of it is literally about that long. I hate that folding antenna, by the way. I don't like that. Let's see. Back to the chat. To pay vet bills. Too many treats. Use the super chat money to pay the vet bills. Yeah, I could do that. Best starter radio, asked Thorpe. Actually, you left a message on one of my posts. I was about to reply to you after the live stream, so I didn't forget about you. Best starter radio. If you're just getting the hobby, you have no other gear. Geez, I want to recommend the Zorro. I really do. The Zorro. Yeah, get the Zorro. The Zorro is going to be the best beginner radio right now. Get the Zorro. There's a link for it in the chat there. Get the Zorro. Just know that a lot of the micros, if you don't get one that says Express LRS, it's not going to work. You'll have to have a 4-in-1 module to plug in the back, which isn't a bad thing to have anyways. Why on earth are you overheating? Are you still on 4K? Hang on, guys. Oh, jeez. Did I do this again? This camera never overheats unless I leave it set up on 4K, which it's not. Okay, interesting. We'll just see what happens there. Sony cameras are weird. Yeah, so Thorpe 48. I would say go with the Zorro, and just to future-proof yourself, pick up a external 4-in-1 module with it. You may never use it. If you're smart, I would just buy things with Express LRS. Scott says, will ELRS put TBS out of business? Absolutely not. No. Long range, like true long range flyers are all in TBS Crossfire, especially for the Mavlink output or the Mavlink system that you can use with it. But it won't put TBS out of business. TBS they have more than just transmitters. Like the VTXs are some of the best VTXs out there. TBS, they're not going anywhere. Little 101 modified a R9 module with the resistor to have 1 watt. Just have to flash it. Nice. But I want backpack functions. I don't think you're going to get backpack functions with that. I just got the Zorro version, and I love it, says Joe MCK. North 49 RC says all Jumper has to do was consult with the devs for a couple minutes. Really, that easy? Yep, really, that easy. Just a conversation would have been good. The ExpressOS devs want the prototype hardware as well to make sure there's nothing screwed up in the actual layout. But yeah, that would have solved all of this. I've asked whether the Commando or whether iFlight's been communicating with them. The few devs I talked to were like, I don't really know, but there's lots of devs and lots of different people talking. I saw on a post from iFlight that said that they were working with the developers. We'll see if that's true. I do have one of those pre-ordered, and hopefully it gets here. It'll probably ship Monday, as soon as I think Chinese New Year ends tomorrow. What else is happening tomorrow? Joe MCK going flying today with my Zorro for the first time. The two things I don't like about the Zorro, really minor things. One, they need grips, which you can find from tweetfb.com. Wink. And I don't like the stick ends. The stick ends are throwaway trash. And I don't blame them for putting cheapo stick ends on there because nobody ever uses these things. The stick ends, these suck. These were terrible stick ends. The stick ends on the T-Pro are definitely better. I really like the crown jewels. Flying in the sim for about 45 minutes yesterday, I swapped out. After flying the stock ones for about 45 minutes, I swapped out for the TBS crown jewels, and it feels like home. Like, this is just what I like. Obviously, stick ends are a personal feel, so I did not like the stick ends, and I'm also a thumber. Put it that way too. Not bad for pinching either. It's a little cramped, but if you're a pincher, you're probably kind of used to this. But this is definitely thumber territory for sure. Get the new Mob 1S Whoop ELRS for 99. Yeah. There's lots of quads coming with Express ELRS built into them. Light up micros. And then larger quads usually don't come with receivers. But once you're into big quad territory, you're going to be soldering up your own receiver anyways. I do like the Beta FPV receivers. They've got that nice power amp on the telemetry output. Joe MCK says TBS's VTXs rock. They are some of the best. I honestly prefer the Immersion RC ones. And then for racing, I usually buy like the cheap Eachine ones just because I'm only doing 25 milliwatts anyways, so cheap. I don't think Tracer's future is gonna be there. It'll be interesting. It'll be interesting to see what the multi-GP nationals show as far as like the protocols, like who's using what next year. Should be interesting. June Logo says going to Made My Zero today. Good luck. You should be perfectly fine. Only thing I did in my Zero when I got it was updated the internal module, and only because I wanted to get my my binding phrase on there. Other than that, she was ready to go out of the box. This one, on the other hand, didn't even come with the Express ELRS Lewis script on it. Like, WTF, guys. And the momentary switches, this was a bad decision. They're usable, they're okay. Bad decision. These should have been actual, like, latching switches. Yeah, okay. Apparently, I answered a question for Joe MCK. I like the crown jewels, but like I said, it's all personal touch of feel. I used to fly the Grand Lotuses. I like those. I'm liking a narrower, sharper stick end, but too narrow and too sharp is too much. If that makes sense. Like, there's a sweet spot. But the crown jewels are good for pinching and thumbing. I don't pinch, so I don't, like, they got like a concave part to them for pinching. I don't worry about that because like I said, I don't pinch. Let's see. So I put out a question on my YouTube channel. Why don't freestyle pilots want to race? And it's not that they don't want to. They're like angry about it. Like, I want, like, it's really weird. Like, where I'm at, there's not a ton of people who fly, and literally this week I've been contacted by 2 people I've never heard of. They're like, hey, you're in the area, do you want to fly? I'm like, yeah, we race here every other weekend or every second Saturday, and we fly there all the time. They're like, oh yeah, I'm not into racing. I'm like, have you tried it? No. I'm like, well, give it a try. And it's not so much, and I think a lot of people are like, yeah, I just want to chill, like, and I don't want to be competitive. Like, I'm not competitive. I'm not competitive when I race. I know my place. I know I'm not going to win. I'm not the fastest out there. I fly and I have fun, and it's the community aspect of it. Like, the people I fly with are awesome. You know, we shoot the shit. We go fly fixed wing in between heats. Like, it's a good time. But, you know, there's a lot of comments that make a lot of sense for why someone doesn't want to fly, want to race. And also, it'll showcase your lack of skills too. And I don't know, people get self-conscious and embarrassed by that kind of stuff. So I understand it, but I still recommend give it a try. Give it a try. Well, Paul McDonald, that is part of the game. I crash into people all the time. People crash into me all the time. You'd be surprised how little actually breaks, but it's part of the game. Nobody's going to get upset if you crash into them, or if they crash into you. No one's going to get upset because we all know that that's just what can happen. Current JW, have you tried the new beta FPV flat antenna receivers? No, I haven't. I was waiting to see if any of the U.S. retailers had them instead of ordering them directly from Beta FPV, just because it takes too long to ship from there. But I do plan on trying them. Maytech receivers has telemetry amps. Thank you, Robert. I did not know that. So the Maytech ones, that doesn't surprise me at all that Maytech does. So it's 11:22. We'll spin the wheel for this. What are we doing? We're doing a flight controller today? Are we doing a flight controller? I think that's what we're doing. Flight controller, we'll spin that at 11:45 today. So if you want to get on that, $5 super chat or over at PayPal. I don't know what they were thinking about calling it. TBS is, they also call the VTX the 69. They're a bunch of marketing idiots. Racing is little one-on-one. Racing is the same as freestyle, only just faster. Yeah, so look at it as freestyle with a purpose. Freestyle with a purpose. Yeah, so little one-on-one says racing is the same to me, just faster. I look at it like an obstacle, just waiting to see who's going to smash into the gate like a tree. Yeah, except for gates are way, way, way more forgiving than trees. Another person says, I don't want to break all my stuff. I break more stuff flying acro because usually there are trees, buildings, concrete than I ever break flying at a racetrack, because it's usually you're hitting PVC pipe, which is fairly forgiving, nylon mesh or PVC mesh, or dirt, sometimes another quad. I maybe kill 2 or 3 motors a year and maybe 1 or 2 lipos a year, and that's really it. And props are props. Those that's like food. JMCK, I'm not into racing. Okay, have you tried it? Just out of curiosity. I think most people who say they're not into it have never actually tried it. I'm not saying that you don't, but it's just a common thread that I hear. Just like hanging with my buddies and acting stupid and trying to hit gaps and stuff. That's racing. That's racing. Hanging with your buddies, acting stupid, and hitting gaps. That's racing. That's all it is. There are people that are super competitive. They can be competitive. I'm out there flying to enjoy it. Like, the tracks are a lot of fun, and the way we set them up. Morgan Upshot says, I'm not self-conscious. I suck as a pilot, and I know it. And racing will make you a better pilot. Jeff Captain FPV says, any source on MIPI cables for HD0 or Fat Sharks looking for higher quality durability? They're all the same. You're not going to find a better one anywhere, at least not that I know of. Yeah. Little 101 lost a set of 3D printed truck nuts in a race because somebody ran into the back of me. That's awesome. I'd love to see the DVR on that. Let's see. Speedy Turtle, put me on for one. Speedy, you're on there. We'll see. Control V. Here's what the wheel looks like right now. We have 12 entries. If you don't see your name on there, and it should be, let me know. Because I do make mistakes. I do make mistakes. Let's see. Depends on the gate type. You're right, Edoc. So when we do like doubles and triples, we usually put a piece of conduit through them, and they're not so forgiving then. But usually you're not hitting those at full clip. You're usually slower going around, so it's more of a glancing blow. Sometimes you get wrapped up in the guy wires, but I don't break a lot of stuff racing, but I'm not actually pushing it that hard. Len H, welcome. What's the receiver of choice for Express LRS? For me, it is going to be standby Beta FPV. It is going to be this receiver here. The Beta FPV ELRS Nano 2.4 gigahertz receiver for the larger stuff, and for the smaller stuff, this one here, the light. The only reason I prefer this one over the Happy Model EP2 is right here. They silkscreen the dang receiver. Silkscreen, just so I don't have to look it up on my phone every time I do it. So that is the receiver of choice. I wasn't sure if you're looking for the bigger receivers, but yeah. Oh, sorry, this one. So here's a link to that receiver. Let's see. Oh, you shouldn't be buying 900 megahertz Express LRS. 2.4 is going to be plenty for the average. For 99% of the people, 2.4 is going to be plenty. If you know you need 900, you're not asking questions on if you should buy it or not. You already know what you want. It's kind of a litmus test. EDOC says, only raced 3 times in 2021 and broke more than that. But my downfall is I try to stay out in front instead of racing my own race. Yeah. So some of the guys that I fly with that are really fast, they're pushing and pushing and pushing, and they break a lot of stuff. I fly my own race and try to improve over my time. I don't care what the other times are. I try to improve my time, but, you know, just the nature of it, if somebody gets in front of you, you try to hang with them. But yeah. Mike Bergman says, if anybody is into freestyle but not racing, go check out some of Vanover's latest videos. Racing makes you a way better freestyle pilot. It absolutely does. Len H, I prefer the Beta FPV ones. I think they're a little bit better build quality. They silk screen the small receivers, and the big ones have an amplifier on the telemetry. Eric Allen, how you doing? You coming out next Saturday? We racing. Hope to see you there. Yeah, racing in the sim makes you angry. Racing in the sim sucks. I don't like racing in the sim. It's not fun to me. Brian F. says, 1 entry for Bitterfoot FPV. Okay. I'll do that. Bitterfoot. You're on the wheel. Bitter root. Sorry, reading words stuff. Let's see. The tiny receiver is not intended to be inside like full size quads that you're gonna fly at distance. They are like micros and maybe like 3 inchers that you're gonna stay fairly close to. They don't have that good a range on them. Those are designed for compactness and lightness, not for like a dual. So I wouldn't put. Sorry. I wouldn't put a one with the ceramic antenna in a full-size quad. Those are strictly for whoops as far as I'm concerned. They just don't have the range. They have better range than any FR Sky 2.4 receiver out there, but still. Okay, yeah, so that's a good question, EDOC. If you're against racing, what if it was whoop racing? Does that change everything? Because whoop racing is the funnest out there, because you can have a couple beers, go and race, hang out with your buddies. If there's very low threat, things don't usually break that much with whoop racing. You end up crashing into your buddy. Like usually at the end of a heat, we all try to like run our quads into each other just because we're all stupid. It's just a ton of fun. LSton is the beta FPV 2.4 receiver using Wi-Fi to update. It uses Wi-Fi and the USB connector at the bottom. Oh, wait. For the receiver. It will do the Wi-Fi, and it will also do Betaflight pass-through, just like everything else. Tweak. Okay. You have any ideas why my DJI goggles will not remember my device input when I'm running analog? I have to go into settings and go into... Yep, that's the downside to running DJI. That's just the way it works. You have to go in, go to input, and select it every time. Sorry, Adrian. No solution on that one. That is the way it works. Mordov Shot says, I'm not giving you a number this time. If I were, however, it would be 42. But it's apparently not the answer. Let's see. Eric says, well, hoping to come out. I might be out of town. All right. Well, I hope you make it. Joe MCK, how do you get on the wheel? $5 super chat or $5 over on PayPal. You can find the PayPal link at the bottom of my website, tweetfv.com. Eric Allen, if you want a carpool, let me know. Obviously, I'll be going that way. You know, Edoc, I hated flying in the sim, but I think the issue I've had was probably the latency bug with FR Sky, or like not FR Sky, but OpenTX. Because I flew this in the sim yesterday, and it felt really good. Like I was actually able to fly and not just, I don't know. There was something that was just like made me angry flying in a sim. Like it just didn't do what I wanted to do. I didn't feel that way flying this yesterday, and this is the first time I've really flown the sim with Edge TX. So I'm wondering if maybe that was kind of the issue I was having before. I don't know. Vincent asked, light receiver with a flat antenna or cube tower antenna? I've been using the cube tower antenna for all my micros. I haven't tried the flat antenna. The flat antenna should be... I looked up the spec on it. It's basically a little bit lower gain by like 0.1 dB, so it really shouldn't make that much of a difference. I would probably say get the flat antenna, but like I said, I haven't tried it. The tower antennas do have a tendency to get knocked off of boards, so the flat antenna will hopefully fix that. Jumpsy's case of that getting a whoop racing, it looks like a fun. It is a shitload of fun. It is incredibly fun. Yeah, if Bob Noxious, if I didn't have to move every 4 to 5 years, I'd have a lathe, a milling machine, all that stuff. The most I can do with the fact I got to move all the time is a 3D printer and a laser cutter. Best beginner whoop. Best beginner whoop. Either the Mobula 6 or any of the newbie drone offerings, but since you said you're looking for a best beginner radio with ExpressOS, I would go with the Mobula 6 Lite with ExpressOS. This is got ExpressOS built into the flight controller, so this will be ready to rock out of the box with your radio after an update. But that would be my choice. I do like the newbie drone quads. These are really good, but if you were to do that and had ExpressOS, you would have to then solder in a receiver. You can see it down there in the bottom. But yeah. June Loco says, sign me up. I'm currently driving. All right, June Loco, you're on. Got you on the wheel. For one. Bob Noxious, stick me on there. You're on there. Kearns JW says start 48. Depends on what transmitter. Yeah, exactly. But since you're looking at what's the best beginner transmitter, and we're kind of trying to steer you towards the Zero with the Zorro with ExpressOS, then the Mob 6. Mobula. Mobula 6. Come on. There we go. This guy here. This would be what I would recommend, especially if you went with the Zorro or any of the Express ELRS radios, because it already has it built into the board. EDOC, another issue with the two big SIMs is the input tied to monitor refresh rate. Yeah, so when I was flying the SIMs a lot during lockdown, I was flying on my laptop before I built this monstrosity of a computer, and like the best I could get was like 60 frames per second at the absolute most. But now I'm flying 144. It definitely does. You're 100% right about that. It is tied to the refresh rate. So things have changed a lot since I used to fly Sims, and they don't feel as bad as they did before. It actually feels fairly true to life. Obviously, the quad's a little bit different, but I was flying the 533 switchback at 45 degrees with true lens on, 144 hertz on my 1440p monitor with this radio, and I gotta say, it felt good. It felt good. So I may be taking back what I say about the flying in the Sims being not a one-to-one. A little 101, there's a bug with OpenTX flying with the Sims. EdgeTX fixed that bug. Yes, you're right. North 49 RC says I got the eSheen UZ65 because it's the best bang for the buck. Comes with 4 batteries, charger, extra props. You can go flying without sourcing more batteries. Yep, that is also true. Mobula 7. Nah, Mob 6. Let's see. Do you have any idea why my radio connection would go in and out rapidly between my Mobula 6 ELRS and my Beta 3 remote? Might be a firmware incompatibility issue. The Mobula 6 ELRS, depending on what version of Beta. So with the SPI-based receivers, like what's in the Mobula 6, your Express ELRS version is tied to your Beta FPV. No, not Beta. Beta Flight version. So if you flash, like, the firmware that comes with it is 1.0. So you need to be on a 1.0 version of Express ELRS for your radio. If you've updated it to like RC2, RC3 of Beta Flight, then you're going to be on 2.0, and you're going to need to update your Beta Lite radio to 2.0. And if the connection is going in and out rapidly, you may just need to try to rebind it. If you haven't gotten into the configurator for Beta FPV, looks like this guy here. If you haven't hooked your radio up to the configurator and set your bind phrase, I would definitely do that. And also, you can set a few other parameters with this. You'd actually have to do that. Go to the radio. But if you want some help with that, hit me up over on Discord. Link to the Discord is in the website and in the video description. Go on over there and we can talk about it. Try to help you out. Adrian Glazer says sold out on Newbie Drone store though. Yeah, Newbie Drone has a hard time keeping their stuff in stock, but other retailers sell it. Like Race Day Quads has them in stock. Not really sure what we're talking about, but there's a link to it. So Race Day Quads does have, they sell Newbie Drone products. So here's the BLV3. It's a great whoop, great whoop. That's the FR Sky version. So just because it's Newbie Drone doesn't mean you got to buy it from Newbie Drone. ASXSA has an EP2 in my Glide. Oh, nice. I assume you have decent range on it. I don't know. Obviously having the physical antenna is going to be better range, but yeah. Morton Upshot says I try flying liftoff on my TX12. I can't do it. Way too much lag. Is it because of your PC or is it because of the radio? Current JW says Edge TX on Sims are a lot better. I can vouch that. It definitely is better. Let's see. I fly Potato Sim. Says Droney Droid. Nice. Tyrannus QX7 or Ishin TX16 as a second radio. Ishin TX16. I wouldn't buy the Ishin TX16. You can get the Radio Master TX16S from Hobby King for $150 right now. That would be my recommendation for a second radio. I can't put that in there because it's too long. Yeah, skip that Ishin POS. I don't think it's really supported by OpenTX very well anyways. Or it may be. I know there was an issue back in the day. But for $150, you can get a brand new TX16S with a touchscreen. This would be the way I would go, rather than an Ishin radio. I know it's basically the same radio, but the support's a little bit different. Morton Upshot, what radio are you running on your TX12? Do you have Edge TX on your TX12? Or are you still running OpenTX? All right, guys, 2 more minutes and we'll spin the wheel for the flight controller. Here's what the wheel looks like right now. If you should be on there and you're not, please let me know. And I will randomize this. Tyler DD loves his TX16. I just sold mine because I do not love the TX16. It's all personal preference, guys. It's a great radio. I hated it. I hate the weight, the form factor, the complexity. It wasn't for me. Not for this hobby. I prefer smaller, lighter radios. But again, that's just me. The TX16S is a hell of a value for what it is. And what they need to do is they need to make it so you can remove that internal 4-in-1 and pop an Express LRS module in there. I started looking at it and started drafting up a PCB to do it myself, and then I'm like, you know what? I ain't got the time for this. So I just we'll shelve that. We'll let somebody else deal with that. But it'd be very easy to do. But it is too big. It takes up far too much real estate in my flight bag for what it brings to the table. We'll put it that way. Space and weight is a premium. It's darts on the wheel for 2. You know what? He's probably going to win this thing. He always does. Actually, no, you've had a bit of a dry spell lately. You've had a bit of a dry spell. Tyler DD is my first radio, and I love everything about it. Or I learned everything about it. Yeah, Edge TX is awesome. I'll be honest. I was trying to sell that radio, and someone asked me if it had a touchscreen. I'm like, I have no idea. So I flashed Edge 2X to it. The touchscreen is actually kind of cool. It seems overrated when people talk about it, especially compared to how these radios work. But it's not bad on a screen that size. It's about perfect. Oh, another complaint about the Zorro is, I can't. Hang on. Too many damn buttons. You don't need all this. You don't need all these buttons. You can get away with 3 and a click wheel, and this is the way it should be. Too many buttons. I don't need a system, a return, a page forward, a page back, a model, a telemetry, and a click wheel. Too many buttons. Too many. Again, just an opinion. June Locust says I have to flash my Zorro ELRS version in order to start flying ELRS whoops. Depends on the No, you may have to flash your whoops though, because it's going to come with ELRS 2.0 on it, and your whoop may come with 1.0 because whoops with internal Express LRS are still kind of a beta thing. They're still part of the Betaflight 4.3 release candidate system. Most likely it's going to come with RC1 flash to it, or a nightly build, which will be 1.0. If you flash them up to RC3, you'll get the 2.0 version of the firmware for the Express LRS. The other reason why I flash the module first on the radio before I do anything is because then I can put my binding phrase into the radio. That's all. Yeah, I don't want to say your name. How about just because, you know, YouTube and monetization, all that stuff. So sorry, June Loco. You won't have to flash your radio, but I recommend you do it. You will probably have to flash your whoop, though. And I don't think they make 1.0 firmware for the internal radios. I don't know that for sure. Let's see. It says, thank you. I'll check that. Sorry about the name. It's a long story. I should probably change it. Yeah, I probably should, but it's okay. Touchscreen makes it awesome. No more forever scrolling wheel. Yes, and the other problem is Jumper and Radio Master can't do a scroll wheel to save their freaking lives. FR Sky nailed the scroll wheel. Everybody's been trying to do it. Nobody's got it right. The TX16 I had, it was hard to like the scroll wheel would move to, then one, and back. Like, it was just not consistent. But yeah. Mac 282, gonna get on the wheel. You're on it, my friend. Thank you so much. North 40 says it's a good idea to update it, to get a matchup. ELRS updates all the time. Give it 3 months, it'll be much easier. Anyway, yeah, they are working on over-the-air flashing, which will be nice. Morton Upshot says you should flash both to have your bind phrase. Yeah, exactly. Except for the ELRS. The SPI ELRS, you don't really set a bind phrase. You can. It's hard. You have to go to the UID converter and punch in the CLI, or you can just put your radio into bind mode, go into the CLI in your quad, type bind_RX, hit enter, let them talk to each other, type save, and then it will take that UID, which is like an extrapolation of your bind phrase, and dump it into the flight controller, and then you're good to go after that. All right, guys, it is 11:48. I do not think Joshua Bardwell is streaming today. Yep, Mike Bourbon, you beat me to it. He is not streaming today, but I do not plan on going over into his time frame because I got shit to do. But here's the wheel. If anybody wants in, I'm gonna give you. We'll give you 2 more minutes, and also make sure your name is on there. He is a quitter. Yeah, he's out doing some gig this weekend. I think is today the Puerto Rico, or no, the Puerto Rico, but there was a race in, where's it at? Somewhere south. I wonder if he's there. Ciati sometimes does jump up into JB's time spot. Ciati streams until he's basically tired of streaming, so I can see him moving. Ah, there we are. Costa Rica Freedom Spec Race. Is that this weekend? I bet you that's where he's at, if it's this weekend. Just my guess. February 5th and 6th. Yeah, that's where he's at. I bet you he's there. That looked badass. So the track that the MCK and all those guys were flying at Bartle's house, it's on Velocidrone. I flew that last night. That's a fun track. Ciati is taking JB's spot. Okay, cool. So after this, Ciati FEV, make sure you tune in for him. If you haven't ever seen Ciati FEV's live stream, it is always a good time. Be part of the collective. Oh, I got a Ciati shirt in the mail. I should have wore it. Is doing a 4-hour stream, yeah, and accomplishing nothing. Every stream is I'm going to build a quad, but he never gets around to it. He just gets so wrapped up into live streaming. It's awesome. All right, guys, give me a number between 10 and 50, and we'll put that in there for the time. 10 and 50. Oh yeah, the TX16 is like the go-to radio. Heart of America's live in Puerto Rico, or not Puerto Rico. It's Costa Rica. All right, 11 seconds. Scott, you got it first. Yeah, Ciati is awesome, awesome individual. All right, guys, let's shuffle this sucker. All right, everybody, good luck. Thank you so much. Here we go. It's gonna be a short one. Who's it gonna be? Is it Darts? Nope. Not today. Are you Bob Noxious? Bob Noxious, congratulations. You are the proud winner of a JMCU. Of a JH F411 No X V2 LMNOP flight controller. Congratulations. Hit me up over on Discord or email me at tweetfpv@gmail.com, over on Patreon, wherever you can, and we'll figure out the shipping information and I'll get this out to you. Congratulations, Bob Noxious, if you're still here. I don't know if you're still here. Yeah, you're still here. You're still here. Congratulations. Bob Noxious said I voted for the Predator. You want the Predator instead? I'll send you the Predator. If you want the Predator, I'll send you the Predator. Yeah, I'm cool. Either way. Heart America FPV has the Costa Rica race live streaming right now. That's gonna be interesting to watch. All right, guys. Let's see. We got a couple more minutes. Make way for the man, the myth, the legend, Aaron Ciotti, Mr. Microman himself. What a shitty nickname that would be, Mr. Micro. Oh, I hope that sticks. So keep an eye on the channel. I'm going to be doing a giveaway for the FPV crate. Oh, sorry. Kick the desk. Everything's shaking. I stand. I don't know if you guys noticed. I stand when I do the live stream. My desk is way overloaded. I've got 3 monitors, 3 lights, sound bar, all the sound equipment, microphone, PC, everything on it. So one little bump and everything goes all earthquake on me. So I'm going to be very careful about bumping the desk. What the hell was I talking about? I don't remember. Oh, yeah. I'll be doing a giveaway for the Sub 250 crate of the month of January. That'll be out next week. Make sure you guys watch that one and look for the link in the video. I'll have a review on this guy coming out soon. I know I'm way behind the curve on the reviews for these things, but I want to actually use them to give you guys a decent review, not just say, oh yeah, feels good in the hands, this would be a good radio, but have like a half a pack into it, or if any. Like, I want to put some time in. I've got about 20 packs in this radio, probably 30, 40 in this one, plus about an hour and a half of sim time on this radio. And I have thoughts. I want to review them in a vacuum, not against another radio. So it'll be a review of this radio. I'll put my thoughts at the end, but it'll be just of this radio and then just of this one. And then the iFlight Commando, that will hopefully be on the way soon when they start shipping. I ordered it directly from iFlight. Just like this one, I ordered this one direct from Radio Master. So we'll see how that radio stacks up against the other 3, because in the mix you also have to consider the Beta Light Radio 3. So that is the first radio with Express ELRS inside of it. They're kind of doing their own thing though. So anyways, Mike Bertman says, do you have the name of this song? This song is Top Speed NBHD Nick. I think that's what it's called. Yeah. Sorry, the writing's like tiny on my screen for some reason. I think that's the song you were asking about. I don't know how far back the chat is. Best beginner goggles. So your radio and your goggles are the things you want to spend the bulk of your budget on. Best beginner goggles, like if you don't want to buy... it's hard to recommend beginner goggles. If you're wearing glasses, you're probably going to want box goggles. There's only one box goggle out there you should be buying if you wear glasses, or in general, and that's the SkyZone Cobra X V2. They are by far the best analog box goggle out there. If you're planning on doing shark bite, which I don't think you are because of your other questions, these are an awesome set of goggles. These have HD0 built into them. Great set of goggles, but I don't believe that's the direction you're looking to go. If you're looking for like traditional style goggles like this, I recommend probably the SkyZone 04Xs, but usually when people say beginner, they're also saying cheap or inexpensive. It's hard. It's hard to recommend a goggle. Plus, they also like words. I don't remember what I was going to say. I just completely spaced there. YouTube removed your comment for saying sorry. That's really weird. Free Lojo handling the stage lights. Yeah. Ishin 800 box goggle. If you're not sure, yeah. So if you do get in the hobby, you'll be upgrading that very quickly. The EV 800D or DM are really good goggles. If you're not wearing glasses, SkyZone 04Ls are great if you're looking for a like regular set of goggles, like a traditional style, and the price is pretty good on them. But yeah, like Mort Upshot says, if you do decide to stay in the hobby, now you have a spectator set of goggles, or you can give them away to somebody who else is trying to get in the hobby, or whatever. The beta FPV VRO2s are a decent, like a very, very inexpensive beginner set of goggles. They're not great in any way, shape, or form, but they're extremely cheap, and you can usually get them used as well. Definitely look at the used market, FPV Exchange. FPV Exchange is a great place to try to find used gear from trusted sellers. I use Facebook Marketplace a lot as well. That tends to work out pretty decent. But hit up FPV Exchange. The guy who owns it is huge in the community. Real awesome guy. Yeah, check that out. This guy's an 04X for $569, has it with a decent receiver included. Yeah, that's goggles are one of those things like you're either gonna buy twice or you're gonna buy once. And was it buy once, cry once, buy twice, cry twice, whatever. But yeah, it's an awful lot of money to dump in a hobby that you're unsure about right in the beginning. But like FPV Exchange over here, look at this. Somebody's selling a set of HD2s. These aren't great goggles. Like new for $317. So now you can see kind of like what the used market is for a very old set of goggles versus what a newer set of like OLED goggles sell for. So this is a good way to kind of gauge the market price of things. Set of EV 800s. Well, it's loading. So this guy wants $100 for a set of EV 800s. You know, I recommend FPV Exchange. It's a good place to go. If you are looking to spend quite a bit of change on a set of goggles, make sure they're OLED. OLED's the way to go. Oh crap! It starts. I'm sorry. I literally clicked on the screen right when that popped up. I did not mean to delete that. Let's see. Did not mean to delete that. That was very unfortunately timed. If you delete a message, I don't know how to restore it. Can I restore it? I can't. Sorry. He said Fat Sharks need a $100 receiver on top of their $500 cost. Yes, so you do have to figure in a receiver. The Cobra X V2s come with a receiver, a very good receiver as well. So yeah. Sorry, man. My bad. So what I've been doing with the chat, and this is why I accidentally deleted it, is so I don't lose my place. I highlight the comment that I'm on, so when YouTube ends up scrolling, I can go back and see where it was. I was literally highlighting one, and when I clicked the delete button on your comment there. So sorry about that. All right, guys, it's 12 o'clock. That's it for me for this weekend. Thanks, you guys, for coming out and hanging out today. Best part of my week, to be honest with you. This is a lot of fun. I love doing the live streams, love talking to you guys. And remember, like, subscribe, click that thumbs up button if you could do so. Go to tweetfb.com for all the cool stuff. And I'll see you all next time. And as always, folks, remember, stay positive. Tune in to Ciati. He's awesome. Like, subscribe, and become part of the collective. We'll see you next time.